3, is it rolling? Hi everyone, I am Tara, aka Spear Mother, and I would like to welcome you all back to my channel on YouTube, Spirit to Spirit Teaching Going With Itself, on TikTok, 1974 Enlightened Soul, and I'm also live on my Facebook. If you're new to my channel, I always recommend, suggest, and really encourage you to read the description of my YouTube channel, Spirit to Spirit Teaching Going With Itself, so you can get a better understanding of what it is that I do bring forward on the channel. Okay? Well, many of you know, like, what my channel is about, and I look, you know, I'll make you laugh, I'll make you cry, I'll piss you off. I'll put a punch across my head, and that, that's, hey, keep your hands to yourself, but by all means, bring it energetically. He'll love me, he'll like me, love me. He'll agree with some of the stuff, and you may even disagree, which a lot of people probably will disagree. Okay, because right now, Spirit has me talking a lot about. Going to have me talking a lot about flat Earth, round Earth, the sun and the moon, and how, like, with regards to certain things. Okay, now you see a lot of videos where they're saying about the moon landing being fake. Okay, and I totally get that, and I totally understand that. And I see the parts where people would perceive the Earth to be round, and people would perceive the Earth to be flat. Okay? And some even believe the Earth to be a spiral, a disc, or a donut. Okay, this is going to irritate a lot of people because I already feel it irritating people. Okay, because when people discuss the flat Earth, round Earth, okay, people who believe in the round Earth, you think of people who believe in the flat Earth as being stupid idiots. Okay, but they feel the same way about you for that, because you say about how it has that curve. Okay, you've heard of the firmament, right? Okay. So I also did a little bit of more digging. Okay, so I'll start off with this part here. Okay, I asked the question: if you take a picture of a flat surface with the right lighting, can you make it appear to be sphere? Okay, I'll repeat that question that I asked Google. If you take a picture of a flat surface with the right lighting, can you make it appear to be a sphere? Yes. You can make a flat surface appear as a sphere in a photo by using specific lighting. Right? But people, you'll still say about, like, you'll still argue about flat Earth and round Earth. But I've given you this theory before. What I'm going to bring forward. Okay. Such lighting, such as a strong off-centered light source that creates highlights and shadows. Oh God, okay. Now, if okay, I'll show you, okay, because if you ever taken a picture of the moon, okay, and you zoomed in on it, okay, I'm gonna try shit. Okay, it's gonna take me a bit. I gotta charge this up, okay, because I'm gonna show shit. I'm gonna showing you because I actually took a picture of the roof, right? And I zoomed in on it a number of times and to see the effect that it would give me. Okay. So take for instance a soccer ball. Okay. 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 So continuing on, off-centered light source that creates highlights and shadows, providing 3D dimensions. Techniques include using soft light for round, metallic effects, or using software like Photoshop to apply Spear's filters and add shadows. Okay? People say about Photoshop. And I'll tell you, like you know, they've been doing movies for how long? Right? They've been manipulating things for how long now? But you know, people tell me I'm stupid. You're stupid. You're a fucking idiot because I'm not saying that I see it as round or flat or donut shape or disc shape or cone shape because I actually see it as all of it. So none of you are actually wrong depending on how one perceives it. Just think of the firmament, okay? Because your firmament actually acts as a force field, but it is reflective, right? Because they say, like, you know, the firmament, I have that here, and I'll get to that. But you keep saying what you're saying and try calling me an idiot. But my question is, have you actually asked those questions? Or did you just go with the mainstream narrative and not bother to ask, considering you're always saying about AI, right? So they can make everything else look like AI, but they can't make a round or a flat earth look like AI, which it says right here. You can take a flat surface and you can make it appear round. But you can also take a light and at the right angle and it reflects off of something that sends off a reflection, you can actually get it to project in a different direction and give the appearance of a shadow-like structure. Well, okay, this video demonstrates how to use software to turn a flat image into a sphere. Okay, well, I don't have the video. Shit us. Where the hell did I go? Shit. Hold on. That was weird. Okay. So, next page. Oh, wrong way. What just happened there? That's freaking weird. Okay. Next. Okay, so the demonstration. Okay. So what it's showing there visualize a checkered soccer ball. Key techniques for achieving a spherical appearance. Lighting manipulation. Position the light source to one side of the surface rather than directly at the camera to create a gratuity of light and shadow, which gives the object a three-dimensional quality. Okay. I was watching something and they were saying the Earth doesn't have a shadow. To the one that said the Earth doesn't have a shadow, anything solid anything solid has a shadow, correct? If the light hits properly, you have your shadow, right? It can be beside you, it can be in front of you, it can be behind you, what have you, right? But you're going by what you were taught in school. So you can call me a stupid idiot all you want. But I will ask you, did you just look at one thing and not take the time to kind of look at it from different perspectives, like different lighting angles or shadows? I'm not here to argue. I'm bringing things forward. You go do your own shit. Okay? It's, talk amongst yourselves, because that's the problem. Everybody wants to say that they're the ones that are right and not actually seeing that you're all fucking right. Depending on how, like I said, depending on how one looks at it. Because of course, NASA or these big companies that are saying, oh, we're taking this money, we're doing research here, we're doing research there. Like, shit, man. Don't understand the language, my channel's not for everyone. And it's surely not ready. It's not for ones that are not ready to come out of the mainstream and actually see things from a different perspective. Digital manipulation, Photoshop. You'll say, oh, well, that just come out. Like that just Photoshop and that just come out. Did it really? Because there are people that will say it, it just come out. But wait a minute. You keep you keep telling people that everything they show that you can't comprehend is all Photoshop. Because that's what AI is. It's photo manipulation, correct? Spheris filter. Use the Spheris filter at 100% distortion to turn flat shapes into spheres. Shading. Add a dark shadow on one side using a soft brush and a bright highlight on the other to create depth. So which sun is the reflection? The one you see in the sky or the one that is actually in the center of what you perceive to be Earth. Because the one inside the Earth that you perceive to be Earth, I don't believe it's a big, really a big ball of fire. I believe that it is a big double-sided mirror that reflects on both sides. Ito porque ano eh. Masking. Use an elliptical Marquee tool to isolate the circular area to be distorted. What that movie, Twilight, when Belle she goes when she's when she's trying to hold back. Projecting textures. You can use software like SketchUp to project a 3D image onto, or a 2D image onto a 3D sphere model. See, this is what you're talking about with the ball. Okay, you see that? See that? Now, selon what it's at. Vi har så lite dyssigt och korrekt. For the best results, it is recommended to apply these effects to images that already have some implied depth. Oh, I'm freaking hot, man. Okay, let's get this up. I don't know why he kept that fire going. Okay. Okay. Ooh. Now, I'm just waiting for my tablet to start up because I'm going to take you in and I'm going to show you with regards to the moon. Okay, it's like a flat surface. Okay, so people will think I'm stupid for this, but I believe the reflection, that what you see, how you see the moon, is actually a reflection of the Earth. Because if you look at the moon, you can see what appears to be planets, and you have what you say things, and that's meteors that hit it and what have you. Okay? But you look at you look at the Earth and look at all the craters, things that come in and stuff like that. That would look much like the things that you see on your moon. And they said they did a test where they said that they threw something at the moon and it done like about for about 8 to 13 hours or something like that. But keep saying I'm stupid and I'm an idiot, and with all due respect, you're the ones that are fighting over flat Earth and round Earth. But I'm explaining something to you that could be feasible for both. More feasible than arguing over whether the Earth is flat or round, because you're saying about the arc. But you'll be one to go with your mainstream. You will not take the time to actually find out what I'm saying. You'll just tell me I'm fucking retarded and stupid. Because that's what people like to say about other people. So if you look at the Earth, right, or the moon, it looks like land masses. But you know, you keep telling me I'm stupid. I'm just going through the see. There's the moon, the shadow, right? The moon looks like a shadow, but you'll say, "Oh, well, you know, like it looks like a big light." Yeah, and I can actually show you a picture that I took of the moon, and it looks like I actually took a video of the moon too, where I was looking up at the sky and it was a slice, but when I zoomed in, it was the moon, and when I zoomed out, it was like a slice. I'll even show you that. But there, okay, you can see it looks like you know what you appear on your Earth. Here, let's go to Sikkim. Here, you know, here's a globe. You call a globe, right? Okay. Oh shit. Allora, ti chiediamo te, poi no, with all due respect, I'm not the one going round and round in a fucking loop. I'm actually seeing things from a different perspective. Yep. Here, and here's an even a darker picture of the moon. Looks like land masses to me. It looks like a fucking shit. Here we go. There's the moon. Do you see that? Where's those lines coming from? You'll say, "Oh, that's your camera." Are you fucking kidding me? So that's my camera, right? Here, here's a bigger picture of it. You just say, "That's your camera." It's the moon. You know, but it's in my throat. So, you know, hey, okay. Remember I showed you the ball? That's what the moon looks like when you zoom in on it. Seriously. Here, I'll even give you a bigger picture of it. Is that better? Can you see that better? Shit. That's when you take a picture of the moon and you zoom. You zoom. Take a picture, zoom it. Keep zooming it. Keep zooming it. It looks like that soccer ball, right? The same as when you look up, when you're up in a plane and you look down at the earth. It looks like Here's one landmass. They're in compartments. So I'm going to do this. Okay, so how do I do this? The reflection of light. Get over. Okay. So if it comes down, okay. So get your sun over here, and you say you have your moon here because the moon is 384,400. Oh, okay, 391 cans from Earth. The sun is like 2.4 billion. Okay? So this is your Earth, but it's like this. Hold on. See if I can put it in my little bitch. Okay. I need a bigger space. Okay, so how can I do this? Okay. Say about the apple, right? Adam and Eve, the apple. That looks much like an apple that, you bit around the core, right? You left the pod, but you ate around the core. So this is the core. Okay, so this here signifies two ships, which, you could say two flat Earths, parallel to one another. If you take a magnet and you put them parallel, okay? So let's say Earth 1, Earth 2, okay? Ship. Because I even did that the other day. Okay? You'll fucking keep telling me I'm retarded, but hey, with all due respect, like I said, I'm not the one living in the loop. And no, I'm not living in delusional world either. If you're not catching what I'm saying, with all due respect, you might want to go learn something because I'm not teaching you properly in school. But they'll tell you I'm the one that's in the wrong. Okay. So this here, water. Okay. What do you call it? You call it humidity. Right? You call like you're in humidity, and humidity is water. And your sun comes down, and what does it do? It draws the water up, but it reflects it, right? It drops it down. You call it clouds, but like cloud forming. And yes, there is a Weather Modification Information Act. but will you take the time to go look at that? Probably not. That's how I ended up getting my first TikTok account. Why they banned my first TikTok account, because I put up with regards to that, and it got banned. Okay, so this is your water. Okay, so then outside of that, tell me I'm stupid. I don't care. Okay, so then outside of this, you have the shield. What do they call it? Not the firmament, but low orbit. Right? So that's what the shield is, your low orbit. Okay. Okay. So say, well, I appreciate your patience. So one is 2000. Okay. Sorry. So this would be low orbit in here. Okay. So in the red here, this is low orbit. Low orbit. 22,000 kilometers from the Earth. Okay. This here, in here would be geosynchronosis transfer orbit. Okay, and that is 35,786 kilometers, so 22,236 miles. So we'll say kilometers. Okay, so that's what they say. 35,786 kilometers. Okay, that's how high a plane goes, right? Or is that, no, plane goes what, 35,000 feet? So it's right in around low orbit, right? Okay. So then this here is orbit. Put that up here too. Transfer orbit. Okay. And just for those of you who can't see down there, 786 km. Okay. Okay, so this is where your satellites are. Here. But when you look on the furthest satellite, it's like 2.4 to 2.7 or something like that billion kilometers from the Earth. So then it becomes outside of the firmament. Okay? So we'll get to that. Okay, so this here, we see in oh, okay, it can be called circularized too. Okay, because it's saying on here that it's 300 okay. Orbit. Semi-synthesis. alluded to. Oh, this music. Trying to figure out, because I'm used to using it and just speaking it in and asking questions until I get the question right. Di sina tate ricordiamo cara fissata. Okay, so there's 4. Yes. Are they in it? Yes. It's super mean. So let's shit. Seriously, do it. Okay, so I can do this right. Okay, where is it? Okay, so I'll do this again. Okay, we have this. We have the core, which is the core is the connection of the two ships. Okay, you're gonna tell me I'm retarded, but hey, with all due respect, let me see. Okay, so we'll say shit. Oh my god. I need a place with better lighting. I don't know if you can see it. Well, okay, so we'll say we'll go with them. Okay, so like I say this is shift flat. Shift flat. So this gives me an illusion of it being round with the water around it. And in the water, you'll see they'll come in. Like you say, they come off the earth. Okay, they go up and they go in. Okay, so this is where they're coming in through the water. Okay, and you'll actually see them as they're coming up. So we'll put some water on the other water. Okay. So they go this way, or they go that way, or they go that way. Okay. But when you see them come up like that, they're coming out from the water and up onto and giving the appearance. Right? Oh man, what a heartburn. Purite crece minutos de esa la tarea. And in here, but you could actually have it to the roots like that. So it's like a reflective bowl. It's a mirror bowl, much like, but it's like that thing too of giving the appearance, but it's like a disc almost, and it's rotating around. So, like where it's half, they put the lighting in, which turns a flat surface into the appearance of a round surface, a sphere. You know, call me stupid. Do what you so desire, but you know, hey, it's reflecting, right? And then you have sun up here. Okay. Shit, how do I do this? Okay, so okay, so it includes the clouds. Okay, so this here. Okay, hold on. I said I'm going down a rabbit hole. You can join me, or you know, whether or not you're here or not, I'm still going down that rabbit hole. No, you're live. This is live. Okay, so Shit, that was rude. Yeah, there. There we go. Okay. So I have this right here, from in here. So from the earth to here, 8 to 15 kms. So we'll do down here. We're just, I'm just brainstorming out loud. Okay. So now, okay, it's like I'm trying to get ahead of myself. Spirit, slow down. Okay, so next one, I get this here. I feel like they're screaming right now. It's like it's not going fast enough. It's because there's a lot that is trying to come out. Okay, so, oh wow. And then, hold on. Okay, so that's, so, 15, 6 to 20, that's 15. Shit. I need a bigger space. Okay, so this is the STRVT stratosphere. What was the other one? The trucks. So it just like I appreciate you bearing with me. You don't have to be in here. The spirit is like they're trying to show me something. And if you don't want to be in here for it, well, Shit, I'm marking all over myself. So above that is the mesosphere, and that's 31 to 53 miles. So 50 to 85 kilometers. Because okay. It's like when you look on Saturn, okay, and they have the rings around it. Okay, so the next one is 500 to 1,000 kms. Oh, for frick's sakes, it's off. It's peanut butter. It's really pissing me off. Okay, so exceeding up to about 1,000. So 500 to 1,000 kilometers. So 500. So from there to 100,000 kilometers. Oh shit! And this is here. The exit. So the sun is there. I'm trying to figure out from here where the moon would be because it would be reflecting. So it affects the water. So I believe the moon would be right around here. God because the water, okay, the what you perceive to be the clouds, okay, they would act as because this is where the clouds would be in around here. Ugh. Okay, okay. it's going up. The sun is drawing it out. Okay. So if this acts as a mirror and it comes down and it reflects, so it would have to, because water would act as a mirror. And damn, hold on. Yes, di sicuro che appunto sì, no. I know. Então, você ia say, super. For fuck's sakes. Oh, yeah. Dang. Okay. So I'm looking. Okay. So the equator, approximately 40,075 kilometers distance around the Earth. Okay. It is approximately, okay. This measurement reflects the Earth's circumference at its widest point. Okay, so 40,070 kilometers is how much in square kilometers? Did I ask that right? So I'm trying to, okay. Oh, thank you. 40,075 kilometers is how many square feet? Oh,
40,075 square kilometers is equal to 4.314 times 10 to the 11th square feet.
okay. So the Earth is 5.5 trillion square feet. Boy, okay. Yes. So when the sun shines on one side of the road, it's blue. So the side that the sun is not on, that's where you're seeing the reflection of what you appear to be. Your moon! Well, holy shit! Okay, the Earth's rotation and so it causes the sun to shine on different sides of the Earth at different times. During the equinoxes, the sun is directly above the equator, resulting in equal daylight and darkness across the globe. Okay, so when the sun okay, so the double-sided mirror in the center that you perceive to be the core of the Earth is actually rotating. So that's how it's giving the reflections.
Oh, you said God. You used it in vain.
Why? Because I said, God damn. Okay, so yeah. Oh, the micro droplets! Okay. No, it's like I know this looks and like all of this looks fucked up. Believe me. Okay. Sometimes it's like the cluing in, and like something clicks. Okay. Phenomena is due to the Earth's axonal tilt of about 23.5, which causes the sun's rays to hit the Earth at different angles throughout the year. Occurs twice a year. Okay. So the Earth is on the axis. So that's why I said it was shifting. It's like the mirror shifting, but these are two shifts. So they're rotating. And if they're rotating on, it's like it creates that turbulence. Okay, the experiment is, are they going to be able to allow you out on the Earth, because you're still on Noah's Ark. Hence the Ark of the Covenant. This is the Ark, like the Ark. Okay, so this would be the mirror. Okay, because this here, the sun, is said to be like I said, 2.4 to 2.7 billion kilometers from the Earth. Okay, so it would be outside the firmament because the firmament is okay. The firmament is 391,000 kilometers. The firmament. Okay, so 391,000 grams of Earth. Okay, and the moon, which where I have it, would be about right. Okay, so moon is 384,400 from the Earth, kilometers from the Earth. So I do have the moon about right. So it's reflecting in here. It's like you say the glass dome, so that's like the ice dome almost. Because you say the ice age. Okay, it's like between that and what is perceived the water. Okay, so it's reflecting, the sun's coming here, reflecting up into what you perceive to be the sky, but it's actually the clear. That's the ice wall. Fucker! God damn. Fuck, this hurts. And like, if people think I'm crazy, you're fucking deluding yourself because you got no fucking clue what it is you're witnessing then. What do you do with that? So what is outside the feminine? What comes after the firmament? What come? Well, that was fucking weird. I was sitting here looking for something. Mariah Carey is playing on the radio. There's no name or nothing, but it came up and it showed me Mariah Carey. Now, regarding the Earth, what comes after the firmament? What's feminine? Regarding the Earth, what comes after the firmament? According to the biblical ancient, excuse my French. I'm sure they can do it. Skirting the earth, what comes after the firmament. According to the biblical, ancient Near Eastern cosmological model, the firmament is a solid beaten out dome or vault that covers the earth, acting as a barrier. So it says dome, and a dome, this is a dome. Reflection, like I said, with the right lighting and that, it can give. But with this here, depending on what side they be on, and that's why when you're looking out into, like when you're looking out at night into space and you're seeing the same thing, you're not seeing anything different. Acting as a barrier based on Genesis 1 6 to 8 and related ancient belief systems. What lies after or above the firmament is water above upper waters. The primary purpose of the firmament was to divide the waters that were under the firmament, transcendental oceans, from the waters which were above the firmament. These upper waters are sometimes described as a sea of glass or crystal glossy substance, terrible crystal in Ezekiel 1:21-22, a sea of glass like undue crystal in Revelations. This, okay. Oh yeah, I said this here's the water in here. The sea of glass, the firmament. I know people say that there's no, like, the space does not exist. I know what you're saying, and okay, because it's like a shield, right? Shield, which is impermanent. The high sea, the adorable of God, highest heaven, beyond these waters lies the realm of God, often referred to as third heaven or the heaven of heavens. Okay, so this here is past firmament, and it's like going into what you perceive to be space, which is into like the ether, infinite. And then you have planets. Right. So they said that the Earth was flung out of orbit. So it went, that was the casting out. So when it got cast out, it went into the darkness, into the cold, the furthest distance from the sun. But what's actually, like, you believe it's, okay, the sun, okay? But there's a cold space there. So if the sun is reflecting down, and this is a mirror, you see it's not ball. A mirror acts like solar panels. Damn. Ugh. So that's why, okay, it's killing the roots. Is it because the heat is coming down, or is that kind of like the illusion part of it? Because if you're in a if you're in a dome, like an ice dome, right? If you're in a dome and the inside is heating up. It's heating up from the ground up, correct? It's heat rising. Oh, God! Oh, fucker! Okay? Okay, so it then becomes much like a tanning bed because it reflects, right? So the sun comes down, it reflects into the dome. And in here, that's right. This the it's if you watch the Matrix, they say about it. Oh, what? They say about the solar panels. In the Earth is the biggest solar panel there is. And then when they're getting the other ones in, it's actually it's storing the heat. So people are saying that plastics are melting because it's not natural. They'll say, well, why is plastic melting, but people aren't? You'll burn in your blister. But if you're not burning and blistering, but your shoes in that are melting through the pavement, what does that tell you? I mean, you feel your feet will burn because it's the ground and it's heating up. It's got nothing to, like, it really has nothing to do with the sun. It has more to do with all the solar panels that are being on the earth right now. Fucker, Jesus Christ, people. yourselves. You look at me like I'm the fucking stupid one. It's like, this here is like, how many of you watch Marvels and talk about, what is it, the Tesseract? Okay, you have your black cube, but this is the black cube. They're harnessing. So when you watch The Matrix, he says, like, about, on there, I'm pretty sure he says about the soul and AI. Because if something is not monitored properly, it gets out of hand, right? I feel like, holy crap, I'm gonna burp. But so, yeah, what the moon is the moon is, if you look at the sun, okay, the sun, you stare at it, the sun has a black hole. So the sun acts as a portal. And when you're seeing like all the lights and that going off in the sky, people say it's Project Blue Beam. You're already like, you're in Project Blue. But what it is it's outside trying to break through. So they're coming out of your sun. I'm touching on the fucking eyeball. You see? So the sun has a black hole, so it's reflecting here, which is reflecting it out there to make it appear to be like, wait, you call moon, but it's reflecting. That's your retina. That's the reflection. Holy shit. But you know, people say, you're overreacting, like that's not true at all. Anybody want to talk common sense? Anyone when actually want to look at something outside of what you've been taught and actually see what's in your face? You say the eye of Ra. You say the eye of Horus. You are the all-seeing eye. You are both Horus, Ra, and Horus. And then it's like showing the truth, which is the reflection. And it's the reflection of the retina, the pupil. You're the all-seeing eye, and when you see both, and then you see the bigger picture, that is the true all-seeing eye. That is the representation of the three-eyed snake, or the cyclops. But it's like the three-eyed snake, but it's also like if you look at it as the bird's eye view. When a bird is in the sky, it sees like it has its full vision. It's like a camera. The lens sees what people don't see. So when you wake up and you open your third eye, which they tell you it's taboo, don't fucking do that. Like, yeah, you're gonna go through some shit because it's the stuff that your stuff you're gonna go through is the stuff that's been hidden, and you begin to see. But I was going in the plane, and I was recording the plane taking off, recording out the window for the plane taking off. And the sun was getting on for night, so the sun was setting. So it was in my camera, but it wasn't directly at it. But I could see the black hole, and you can actually see it in the video if I still have the video somewhere. So I don't know where right now. And then in 2020, when I went through all that shit in Easter time, Good Friday, I was going through a lot. It was storming out, and my body was freaking like shit. Like it was going through spasms. Like the shadows, like you know. And I was looking. I was looking out the window, and the clouds started moving, and the sun come out, and I was looking directly into the sun in the middle of the sun. And all of a sudden, this would be the black hole. It started spiraling and opening up. Yellow and blue makes what? Green, right? So if yellow and blue makes green, you get the reflection of the earth. Everything on earth is mainly green, right? Green and shit green is almost like brown. Did I offend somebody by saying shit green? Okay, baby colicky poop. And I'd be, well, hey. So it gives a reflection of the green. So, they show on different things where the sun is actually is green. They do it in different changes and whatnot. And this here, okay, the reason why you're seeing it in your skies here of the stuff going on out here is because it's catching it in here and it's reflecting it into the two-way mirror where you can see out, but not necessarily can they see in because it's a ship and it's like a cloaking shield, force field, what have you. God damn. So when they say that they're going inner Earth, you're going in under here, right? And then underwater here. Hence, tunnels. A lot of the tunnels are there's more tunnels under the water than there is under your land. But and because you're getting from here to here, right? You say you're going, you got to, okay. So if you're going to Russia, you can't drive there, so you take a plane. A plane from the United States, a certain place in the United States to Russia takes what, about 13 hours? But by boat, it's only, what is it, 53 to 56 kilometers across the water, or sorry, miles across the water. So this is what I can, and this here is because I had the vision, and quite a few weird fucking visions, a vision where I was underground, but it was like concrete, like concrete spaces almost, but it was that part wasn't like being in a hospital. It was like being down in some kind of like domes or things like that, and they had different compartments. And when I looked it up, I'm like, huh. So when I was coming out of it, it was weird because at one point I was coming up out of the earth and I come out in these big, huge fucking bay doors. And it was a government facility. And then there was another one where, I was under there. But that time when I come out of under the dumps, I come out in what appeared to be a government building, but more of a hospital. And then the other time, it was it was like I was way down in the earth because there was trees and everything down there. I had to go down in, and on the side you could see like a planet. It was like it looked like an Earth planet, and it was right beside us. I could see it. It was big, but there was a cabin, like some kind of cabin down there, almost like a government. And that was when I come out, big, huge bay doors, like it was a government facility. So they come out to make the appearance that they're coming onto the earth. Like Stephen Greer said, 20% are actual terrestrial ships, but the rest are military because the ships over here are hidden. Things are shifting. The dams are breaking because where is it? Yeah. Straight up, now down. This one. Okay. Now, people say about the moon affecting so much of the water. Okay. So, if the sun is coming here, which is reflecting to the moon, then the disorder is in here, not out there. So this, they say the magnet is in the center of the earth. So this is a mirror magnet and it rotates. It's like when you see one of those and it's just going all the way, oh, much like we see there. And I do a lot of this. I actually have a lot of that going. In my journal. I do it a lot. Oh, let me see. Okay. Much like that. Okay. Okay, so I was looking and, I asked questions, and spirit will guide me into how to word certain things. So, are dams one of the leading causes of instability of water flow? Because you believe that it is moon, okay, it creates the oceans happen in here from the center part, not up here, from in here. That's why they say go inward, look inwards. You're looking out there when you should be looking in, in. Por aqui. Que mostrou por aí. So bullseye. Okay. So when the ships, like the ships are kind of like it's like a fix, but what's not fixed is this. But it's still vibrating. This here is shifting because it's like it's getting hot and it's about ready to explode. So when you're seeing things fire off of the sun, what sun is it really projecting from? The one you're looking at, perceived to be looking at in the sky, or is it the one in the center? But you won't ask these questions, and I say, why not? Like people are saying in the 60s, oh, they went to the moon, they went to the moon. Well, they didn't have to go far because they were already on it. So when the ships go up, they get cut off here and then they veer that way. So the firmament is out here, and the moon is right here, reflecting from the water up into the sky, which, yellow and blue, reflects down. But then the black hole hits and reflects out the lens. The lens. This is one big. It's that is like the telescope of all, almost like the telescope of all telescopes, but it's just one flat surface. Nikola Tesla said about like the disk. So this here would be the energy source. But it's an overload because the sun with all of the other solar panels, it's like an overload so the sun is heating those up. So it's like, yeah. Okay. Each star is a sun. Okay. And you see the pyramids, okay? The pyramids are aligned with Orion's belt, right? Orion. The three main stars of Orion, the three suns, the three kings, the three stooges. No, but seriously, you have, and in there, that like they've already found out that the pyramids are energy sources. So they're harnessing the energy from the sun and it's traveling. it travels through it travels to the earth. That's why they tell you to put sneakers on, because then you're no longer connected. So that's why, like the earth, it's heating up, it's melting the rubber and plastic and pavement and that, right? What's it doing to concrete? Is it doing a lot to concrete? Or is concrete a different substance? You know, the volcano is heating up from the inside. It's not heating up from the outside. That's just the projection that you get because you see the sun, but you're actually heating up. It's like I said, it's like being in a sauna, a closed environment, and heat rising. And then it's got nowhere to go. So when the heat rises and the it gets so hot that the globe bursts, that's the wall, the ice wall. It's melting the ice wall. It's melting the dome. It's heating glass. You know, Chicken Little, the sky is falling. And you see the satellites coming over the Truman Show, but somehow, they can't get to the moon, but they get way the fuck out here and put satellites out there. Where's your fucking logic, people? How the hell do they get there to fucking fix them? Che moja, nisu go to prijano. Okay, so when I looked up about the moon, okay, of what affects the waters more, the moon or dams. Okay. Are dams one of the leading causes of instability of water flow? Well, we know that, they block the water and what have you. But, like, people think that that's good because you say, because other countries don't have water. Other countries had water before they started doing that and hoarding it. Because how do you think their ships are running? They need fresh water, right? You say that fresh water, like it's more. What do they say about water? Water is what? Gold? So if water is gold, that's what Donald Trump is talking about. He's talking about whoever has and owns the most water is the richest country in the world because it is gold. It is worth more than actual gold. The gold standard is the standard of the fresh water because they only have a certain reserve on their ships. So they keep recycling the water. Do you know people were saying about plastic, like you're throwing plastic in your oceans. Yes, dams are recognized as one of the leading causes of instability in natural water flow, representing one of the largest anthropologic alterations of the freshwater cycle. So it's water cycling. There's still the same amount of water. They're just what you think is oil, like your oil. The water is running the same way. And I'm not talking about your regular plumbing, if that's what you're talking about. It's being transferred like what you perceive your oil to be transferred. I have to ask, this is going to sound fucked up, but is oil, is the oil actually just an illusion and it's actually water? Everybody else questions certain things. So, hey, they're putting it the same way. So it's contaminating your water. The oil is also contaminating your water because it's getting into your water source, which acts just like plastic. Because that's a lot of what plastic is made from. So if plastic is getting in your water supply and the sun, like the water is evaporating into the sky, do you really think that the plastic is out of there yet? Or even going to be out of there unless, you do something to figure out how to fucking filter it. But, because they say recycling, and they do very little recycling, but they charge you a fortune for it. So whoever it is that's making the plastic, then they should be footing the bill for it all. Alterations of the freshwater cycle. They disrupt natural flow regimens, tap segment, and change downstream habit, leading to significant environmental impacts on river ecosystems. Well, if the river's ecosystem isn't functioning properly, then nothing else is going to be, because everything runs through, more or less runs through a river, because rivers come out into bigger bodies of water. You're using lakes, above ground lakes, to get your water. And then you're being charged for it. But they say the piping. Well, what happened to drilled wells where everyone could have their own well and it wouldn't interfere with other people's plumbing? They all had their own. They had their own individual plumbing. If somebody shitter backed up, the neighbor wouldn't have to worry about their shitter backing up either, because it wouldn't be in between the two pipes connecting each house together. Everybody wants change, but they don't want to live through the pain that's going to get you there. Because there's going to be the resistant ones that knows what's beneficial to the people and what's beneficial to their pocketbook, because they're too busy after the gold standard. Water's not for sale because nobody owns it. But people are laughing for saying that, because you're that hooked into the system, not realizing you shouldn't be dependent on the system. Key impacts of dams on water flow instability. Altered water flow timing. Dams often reverse natural patterns, such as storing water during high flow seasons and releasing it during low flow periods for power or irrigation. So instead of it having a natural flow, but instead, it releases, what is it, right after the snowfall. So it makes it more intense. It creates floods, erosion. Reduced conductivity. Dams create physical barriers that block the flow of water, sediment, and natural nutritions, turning dynamic rivers. Sage removal, not in other 60. Oh, okay. Okay, here we go. So, didn't Donald Trump say about just going and opening the valve in California or wherever to let the waters flow? If he had done that, it wouldn't have been good for the people because you have to do it a certain way. And that's like the dams are breaking because they can't hold it because they're dumping it in certain areas. They're taking the water and they're dumping it. Cloud seeding, what have you. Just let them out. You know? How do you remove all dams in a way that it doesn't cause a catastrophic effect? Catastrophic. Removing dams without causing a catastrophic sudden release of sediment and water, the effect, homologous effect, or more accurately, a damaging rapid release surge, is best achieved through a slow, staged notch and release method. This involves gradually cutting notches in the dam to drain the reservoir, allowing the ecosystem to adapt over months or years rather than minutes. How many of you watched the movie Evan Almighty? Okay, because was the flood actually caused from all dams breaking at once? So that's what it said. We tried this before. God told them that dams were going to break. And there were the major dams. That's why you say there was more than one arc. That was because it was places. This is really good. Best practice for controlled dam removal. Stage removal, notch and release. Cut 6-inch notches in the dam to let water flow through, gradually lowering the structure over several days or weeks. This allows trapped sediments to move downstream at a sustainable rate rather than all at once. Hand removal for small dams. Use shovels, rakes, or grappling hooks to remove materials sedimentally from the top down, avoiding machinery when possible to minimize bank disruption. Now, how many of you have, if you have kids, okay, and you watched especially girls, you watched the movie Frozen 2, okay? In Frozen 2, what ended up happening there is the military man, Elsa and Anna's grandfather, okay? Military man, and he put a dam, right? The indigenous, okay? The one's the sun, okay? He inserted a dam and told them that it would be good. But then what ended up happening, it started affecting their land. The land started dying. Okay. So the chief went to the military man, grandfather, and told him like it wasn't working. First it was an agreement, but it wasn't working. He told them what was happening. But this was when they came to celebrate, and they were all connected with the spirit, right? Yeah. Okay. So what ended up happening is Elsa, Anna's grandfather, scalped the indigenous man, the man who was saying, this isn't working for us. Okay? And to build their properties, they had to put in dams because it was considered expensive. Now, it wasn't the people who was doing the corrupt. It was the ones that you put in as leaders, the ones you give your power over to, not the people, because the people were actually victims as well. The people didn't colonize, the governments did. And the people were enslaved to build it for them. Backhoe operation. If using a backhoe for large structures, ensure it is done from a stable position to avoid causing sudden uncontrolled breaches. It's like that's the imbalance. Sediment management. If the reservoir behind the dam is heavily seeded, it may be necessary to dredge or stabilize the sediment before removing the dam structure to prevent massive erosion. Avoid downstream breaching. Never remove a dam from the downstream side, as this can trigger a sudden failure, causing what the hell happened there? causing constant twice daily ocean high low that are predictable. Cold focus is primarily on large connected bodies of water, oceans, not inland freshwater sublet influx. While tide forces can affect groundwater levels, the overall effect on freshwater flow stability is minor compared to human intervention. In summary, for a specific river or watershed, a dam is the dormant force controlling the sublet of the water. Now I know I went on that. Oh, this is in water. So that needs to cool down. Because this is cold and this is hot. This is why they say it's like a hell down here. It's smoldering hot. They work in hell. They're the miners down there keeping things okay. Oh, it's like it's like living in a hell and they can't take it anymore. It's almost insanity, like insanity. But the water's boiling here, so they have to come up. They had to come up out because it's boiling in here. Separation. It's not this they have to cool down, it's this they have to cool down. See, they're storing too much energy in here, like I said. And that is what's going to, that will be the atomic. Because that is that works as an ultimate energy, like it's worse than nuclear. So they're trying the ships. It's like they're trying to. It's like they're trying to break apart, or the force is breaking them apart. So yeah, it's like they're focusing out here when they need to be focusing here, and if they're not doing it on purpose. That's why you figured that's why they're trying so hard to get out of the farm because they get caught being wet. So like I said, that's cool. Fire and ice. Sun in the sky is the ice, much like the ice. One's hotter than the other. One produces a freezer burn, and one, the blister. I mean, freezer burn, you turn green like frost. Got to burn your skin feels. And I know what freezer burn feels like because I felt like it. Everything was firing off in my body, and it felt like I was on. It literally felt like I was on fire, but it felt more like a pins and needles frostbite. So lens, a reflection. Because of the black hole there, it's going to reflect the black hole in here. And being able to see the bigger picture, that's that's the all-seeing eye. It sees truth. But people won't believe that to be the truth. But you know it's not because it makes a fucking a lot more sense. And it actually on all sides of the argument it makes you all right because even spiral, the donut, there's the top of it, and there's the donut there. Flatter, rounder, the disc. It's here. This shape. And this is the whole. Did you say that you emotion that bias? Yeah, represents abundance, it represents affinity. And when I went to the psychiatric clinic in 2021, there's a guy, and I was like going through a lot, and I went into the back room where they were with books, and we could sit there and color or like just draw things or what have you. It was kind of a little room, I had chocolate there, and I had drawn a picture. But there was someone on the board, and I went in, and it freaked me out because I understood, but I'm trying to think if it was because when I went there, I drew the water tank, okay, across from my property, the water tank there, and I drew the ship on top of it. Someone else drew a dragon breathing on it, okay? And then there was another part where one of the, like they had, I don't know who put it on the board, but it was on the board, and why they were asking me, because I looked at it, and it was like, it flew off, and it was like, holy shit. And I took off running because it fucking freaked the shit out of me. So it was like, and I went in one of the rooms. I was in my room, and I closed my door. And I just happened to look at my door. And it was like almost like a see-through marker type thing, or not a see-through marker. One of those you mark, but you can't see what you've marked. You have to have a special lighting or something to be able to see it on the wall or a door or what have you. But when I looked on the door, it looked like a symbol where, in order for someone to be able to come in my room, they had to have my permission. I didn't put it there. And when I was in there, yeah, that was weird. Like it was fucking weird. Like I know what I like. I experienced it, so hey, I think I know a little more about it than you do. I mean, the experience I have in the hospital, knowing what was going on. They want you to stay in that mental loop. I even told my therapist about the two-shift thing. Do I sound delulu? Only to those who, don't have an open mind. Because that, like the clouds, you would think like it's just energy. The clouds would be able to get past a firmament, right? It's just space at different density. But somehow the clouds just circle and they can go so fast. Because when my dad went to school, he said, like, we used to take 7 days in many times for to form. That's what they were taught. Because my dad wouldn't have told me that if they weren't taught that. But somehow a cloud can form within seconds. You could be looking at the sky in one place, and then you turn away for a split second or something, you turn back, and it's like this big fucking cloud there. That are trying to get in, or like trying to get in out, trying to get out. the actual ships that are coming in, like even Stephen Greer said, the ship, like there's the 20% that are extraterrestrial, and they are getting in. They're getting in through spaces. But that's the only place where they were able to more so break free. But the ones in here were already able to get out. But hey, I said that with my sixth great granddaddy, I don't believe that he was just building your normal like ships for water. I'm almost certain he was building a different type of ships. Have a religious feel, it means you're extremely connected to the infinite because he couldn't read or write. So he had something guiding him. Yeah, because that's depending on the times of day. The levels. Do you know I have a very strong feeling that he is the one bringing this forward right now, or I know it's one of my ancestors, if not many. It's like a wagon wheel. God damn. And this, the illusion of the moon vibrating, and other things, the illusion of it vibrating, is because this is getting so fucking hot. It's vibrating. Tesla side of the like for the falls, leave it like you gotta leave them on because that's what keeps this cool down. But you'll laugh at me, right? Geothermal, if it heats, it can cool. You say that heat comes from like for nuclear Teslas. What if strong reason to believe that's Tesla's engine. The Earth, when did the Earth start heating up? The Earth began experiencing significant warming trends, primarily since the Industrial Revolution in the mid-18th century, with average temperatures increasing by about 1 degree Celsius over the past century. So it was the harnessing the heat from the earth and like it's dispersing it. But it's like when you have, oh, that was the flash. Look at, oh, shit, man. Okay. So flash. In 2020, when I heard for God to help me, when I was going through fucking bad shit, like something was trying to tear me apart, like that part of the spirit. And when I hollered for God to help me, that's when a flash of light, it felt like it hit me right between the flippers. I don't know if it was coming out or if it was going in, but it hit me between the lippers. Is it a flat? Is it? But, you know. So then that's what happened in Atlantean and Lemurian times. And that was about 12,000 years ago, because people don't realize that, it was like an atomic clock then. So this works as an ultimate. Industrial Revolution impact, the most notable and rapid increase in Earth's temperature began around 1750. when they said that they were throwing comets at the moon, they were actually throwing comets at the Earth's firmament. Korea, because they don't have that's why they say. So the ones that created the mess, that's why the ship, they say the captain goes down with the ship. Because that's the ship came up. So now the ship came up, the captain goes down with the ship. So when the arcs, when it was like the earth got flooded, right? Okay. So when the arcs left, they went out into outer space. They left the ship, the sinking ship. They abandoned ship and left the people dead to die because they didn't have time to get the masses out, so they had to do it secretively. Now they're trying to break the firmament. And that's where, like, okay, the blast. It wasn't the flood. But why did it have to be a flood of water? Or was it a flood of energy? And that's why it just blew everything, because if energy, if it just comes out and it expands at a rapid rate, so it was a ship, and they had to get up. They had to abandon ship. And it was like on Star Trek, Voyager, where they have a different humans mixed with everyone. Because they were sent to space and they had to find this water. The water was the firmament, and that was the boat they were talking about. Oh, damn. The gold color that you're looking at, I think that's just your distraction. You know, and it's like, do they carry a bit of water? Because what do they have? Like when you're showing those depictions in ancient civilizations, you know, when they have that thing they carry like that, okay? Was that, did that act much like a, it was like a flask? they'd always have gold wherever they went because they'd always have gold. Esse ano na nakakita sa correndo. Okay, hold on. Okay, now let's say this come up. We're talking about space, the moon, right? Okay, NASA confirms the moon is moving away. It says 3.8 centimeters annually and is generally changing Earth's rotation. You're really going to go with that now? Because this is actually the ships are moving away from one another. It's like the mirror being split. You know, I'd like, hey, this came up, and you know, they say like beware of NASA. Like, no offense to the ones that got wrapped up in it, but you know, that's a narcissistic organization, narcissistic assholes, and not them all. I don't know. But I've seen two videos already where they say they're out working on satellites. Who's working on the ones that like are way out billions of kilometers out, considering we can't go through the firmament? They must have a secret way, right? Or like I said, this, you know, this shows you how to see, like, where people could see it from the different perspectives, depending on how they look at it. But how many have really looked at that? It's like goes outward, right? Ship, it's like, is rotating? But I say it's in here, and it's getting too hot. It's like when your car gets overheated, what happens? You blow the radiator, right? Or it boils over and you scald the shit out of you. Yeah, now you have to ship keeps coming up because you think when you're when if the ships are out at sea, they're hooked up to one another. They hook up. It's like an exchange. Like if you're going out and they need to fuel up, if they're getting fueled up or anything. But you can, keep arguing over your flat earth, round earth, donut shape, cone, disc. Yeah, I heard the word Beyblade. It's like, yeah, it's almost like two Beyblades, two magnets head to head. They're repelling each other. But, I said, what people don't realize, you say, London Bridge is falling down. You know what London Bridge is? London Bridge is falling down. Creation of the illusion. The bridge is the illusion. You say when people are saying when the Queen died that meant London Bridge is falling down. But was people looking for London Bridge to fall down? The monarchy? What do they call in space? Like when you watch your spaceships, right? They call it going to the bridge. Why do you think they say that there's ships out there that are the size of the Earth? If you're just coming in, you can always catch the whole thing on my YouTube channel, Spirit Teaches. So titled Flat Round Earth Sun Moon Rabbit Hole. Steam. That's overheat. Boilers are going to overheat. Your pipes are going to overheat because your ground is what's heating up. Some don't want the firmament to. But is the firmament another illusion inside the Earth? And they're actually trying to bring in here and it's causing the shifts. They're trying to get people free, but they're trying to get people like certain things happening coming in here. They're trying to get in here. It's like firefighters trying to go to a fire to contain a fire they can't get to. Plastic is reflective. So if you got shit balls of beads of plastic around, even if you can't fucking see it, it's reflective. So that's going to make things heat up if you want. The climate change is not natural climate change. Climate change is sort of stupidity in humans. People didn't like me saying that. But usually, I don't know everything, but I know the truth hurts. So instead of saying that, they're going to release information regarding the UFOs, what the same as they did for the UFC fighters. People know aliens are out there. There's ones that, don't believe it, but, ask yourself, do you really think they're the only one in the universe? It's like, yeah, get over yourself. Get over your ego. People will tell you you're crazy. But you need to know, no matter how you see it. If you don't see it, don't tell somebody else that they're crazy. Just because you're not seeing it, because they're seeing something that you're not seeing, because you don't have the eyes to see it. Put the eye in the sky, and then the eyes on the earth. Because plastic, like I said. And if, you say about the Project Looking Glass, well, what's the Project Looking Glass? Is it all the fucking beads that, from the plastic that you're putting in your oceans that's going in the ground? Because it's just reflecting. Sun. It beads of plastic. Radiation is energy, right? Built up energy. You say it's with chemicals. What is that? Nitric, nitric oxide. Shit ass. Nitrogen oxide, I believe it's called. Something like that. Liquid nitrogen. What does liquid nitrogen do? It gives that sensation of freezer, right? Have any of you been feeling like you're overheating? Because you're connected to the earth. So if you're connected to the earth, you're actually feeling the sensation of what's happening in here. Don't blame me, don't that. What's the solar flares? The flares are actually coming from in here. It's flares of energy bursting out, right? So if it's shaking the earth, like, it's shaking you. It's like, I know someone that will say like they used to get really overheated to the point where it was a claustrophobic. It's like you get so overheated, you just gotta shed your clothes. You just gotta get everything off, and you feel more comfortable. Is it because of the plastic in clothes? Or is it the plastic that we're putting into our bodies or on our bodies? And somebody tried telling me here a few days ago, or a week ago, or something like that. Because I said about with what they put in their plastic, the oils that they put in their plastic. The person tried telling me, no, they don't. Yeah, they do. So the plastic's going in your body, it's reflecting. But they have to figure out a way to release the heat or fucking cool it down. And they're keeping free energy away. And like I said, the solar panels, you're overheating the planet. You're overheating the dome. You're like, there's nowhere for the heat to go. So if there's nowhere for the heat to go, it builds up and it acts like a gas. You can consider it much like a sleeping gas or laughing gas. But we ain't doing much laughing. So, to the ones that say there's no climate change, ones that say there is climate change, okay, the ones that say, okay, if you're looking at it as like a God's act, no, it's man-made and it started in around about the 18th century, and the 1750s. Who was around that? I said about my great granddad, but also look at Nikola Tesla. Was Nikola Tesla related to my family? Because I'm pretty sure that my sixth great granddaddy and Nikola Tesla thought a lot alike. I'm not sure they got along because I think my sixth great granddaddy until he realized, like, woke the fuck up and realized, like, what like, he was connected, but it was like, was he still going to a congregation? But I'm not even sure that, like, they said that my sixth great granddaddy died, but it's one of those ones that knows how to move through time and manipulate. But I can't talk about that. But Candace Noon can talk about her and Charlie Kirk doing projection. I'm just saying. People think that's the rule. Take that up with the CIA and all that. Seriously, take that up with the CIA and all that. Do you know I went to an organization one day to find out about certain names of being affiliated with them. And when I mentioned the names, they fucking near shit themselves. They think that I didn't read their energy. I read it quite well. Because you would have been more interested in what I was bringing forward for the positions you hold. Because when I went there, I was told there was only one person in the office. And when I got there, there was a woman in the office. And then all of a sudden, 4 or 5 men showed up. Do you know, pretty much every name that I mentioned, I felt their energy shift. Because I even told them things I knew about my own ancestors. Do you know, that's why I tell people look into your own genealogy because you'd be surprised what you find. And sometimes you'll even be able to resonate with it because you'll be able to see it, that it's happening in your own life or it has happened. So when people looks at me like I got 100 heads or I'm crazy or what have you, the stuff that I bring forward, then I guess you're not ready to expand your mind. That was like coming out of that black hole because it feels safe. Believe me, I know. Because when I died in 2019, and I was like, it was like I was seeing this light off in the distance, and then it duplicated, it got closer and duplicated to 369, and then it was a massive light, and I had anxiety. I think it might have been because of what I knew in my spirit, what it represented, which meant death. To me, it meant death. But I had to let go. Don't remember much until they started allowing me so many visions. It's like when you bring and you bring things up, you release it, you begin to see more parts of your experiences, which gives the PTSD. Like this year, people experienced so much from this, and they were blacked out from remembering. Is this the light that you see at death? Because they say inner earth, right? The energy pool, the consciously, like, like it's like I was gonna say like a computer chip goes through magnetic waves, the way you see it, you know, in stars and galaxies, he was even saying the waves, and it was showing the waves from people's head from head to head, but yet they don't teach you about that. Right? They don't teach you that it can go person to person. They call it telepathy. That's what they block off. Your natural telepathy. So it's like the instability is coming in here because it's getting so hot that it's starting to break apart. Hence why, they say about the moon moving 2 or 3 centimeters because it's this that's moving. So experiment. Take a dome thing, put it over a flat surface, do a dome, and then heat it up. Put it on the ground and heat it up. Let it heat up through. It's going to start from the bowl. The fuck? You got the mirror made of gold? God damn it. The winner's fucking gold. Okay, gold. That doesn't seem. I'm reading something. I'm going down a rabbit hole. Okay. Alternate purge and blackening or oxidation treatment involves exposing iron or steel to high temperature. This process is known as black oxide treatment. Used to remove resins and resin parents maintain protection by using additives like black oxide is extremely thin. Wait, okay. Ow. They had me look at something quickly when I'm looking at in here where it's heating up. Because I read one part where it was like it said to use sound frequency. the Da Vinci Code. You have the man in the circle. Yeah, I know that'll sound pretty fucked up to say that. You know how you say that the Vatican has or something has, you're said to be God under them. I know some of you have heard that because it was going around on TikTok. It's like the Vatican did it. Oh yeah. So now it makes you, is it going out or is it coming in? Because you can send a light out and it reflects back onto itself and then reflects that much. You know, is that why like people can see in the mirror when they get covered? Is that what? Part of the tree, the trunk, and the roots. Absolutely. No, because that's why they would be like. That's why. Okay, they're measuring and what? Like, you know that they're measuring, right? So, try to take me somewhere. Sito perché amore. think it's very curious. That's true. Let's get high. Well, do what you will with that, or do nothing at all. Hey, you like your Earth rabbit holes. What I said here, go look it up for yourself. But if you're fighting over flat Earth and round Earth, and you're not seeing it from that perspective, but you're saying about a matrix and assimilation, Project Bluebeam, Project Looking Glass. What is the looking glass? A looking glass is a fucking mirror, and I said about a mirror reflection. Anything that reflects heat draws heat, or anything that really reflects a type of light, it heats up. Unless you have the cold light, and then that just feels very dead. So, like I said, if you're interested and you want to find out what the hell I'm talking about with this in the background, go watch my YouTube channel. Space. I teach you stuff. Flat, round, Earth, sun, moon. That. And with that being said, I'm sending you much love, light, many blessings, most importantly, very good health to anyone and everyone who wants and wanting to receive it, except you should be ready for this. If you're not ready, you shouldn't. You know, it's that part of truth does hurt. Maybe, be authentic, be who you are, not who somebody says you are. Stop like ridiculing each other for thinking that the earth is round, or the earth is flat, or what have you. Because in the end, does it really fucking matter? It's cool to know, but does it really fucking matter? As long as you can come out of the enslavement, spiniamo tornare noi. Okay. Say you all love.